Hey Jebediah, I have two very important questions to you. First question is, what is this kOS and why has it crashed? Second question is, where are our wings, wheels, and everything else? Because I don't think we're going anywhere. Maybe if we swing this a little bit? Come on, get up into the air, fly already! Hello YouTube and welcome to What the Math. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at what I think is one of the best mods for Kerbal Space Program, and it's a mod that teaches you how to code and how to become a programmer. It's a mod called kOS, and right here this is what I have open. I'm going to be launching my spacecraft using nothing but a script I wrote just for this launch. And what I do is I type this, and this starts a command that essentially I will now launch my spaceship, and I can just kind of watch it launch itself into space by using the script that it took me a few hours to write because I'm still new to this. I don't really know how to program well, but I would love to learn just by using this particular mod. So this is absolutely perfect for people like me that don't know how to script, don't know how to code, but would love to learn one day. So as we watch my spaceship get itself into space, into orbit, let's talk about a little bit about this particular mod. So it basically introduces two new items in the game, or two new modules you can add. Both of them are kind of like computers, and you put them on the spaceship that is controlled by unmanned modules, which are basically inside this capsule right here. So this is mostly meant for unmanned craft, although you can obviously use this with manned craft as well. Now the coolest part about this is that it actually integrates and works really well with remote tech. So if you have remote tech installed, you may want to give this a try because it actually is a perfect addition to it. So this right here is the computer. It's called sciptable control system. There's two of them, and both of them have a limited disk space to kind of make this a little bit more realistic. This one is the smaller one, and there's a bigger one that has more space. And essentially what this means is that there's a limit to how much data you can store on them, and the size of the script will depend on that. And here I can actually show you what this particular... Oh no, I can't. Never mind. I cannot show it to you because I'm using remote tech and I have no connection with my control center right now. But I'm going to establish connection in a few seconds because I have this programmed to unbundle its own antennas. It's going to open the antennas really soon and use the solar panels and so on to basically feed itself with electricity so we can actually talk to the command center. Now, this particular script is really simple, although it's not really perfectly written. I'm going to show you what it is in a few seconds as soon as we establish the connection. But basically, it takes my spacecraft to orbit and circularizes at approximately 80 kilometers. And what I really love about kOS is that well, first of all, it adds a new challenge to Kerbal Space Program. So now any kind of unmanned spacecraft, you will have to either use this or you have to establish connection using remote tech modules, which is kind of already challenging. But you know what? If you use these scripts, it makes it so much more fun because you're basically challenging yourself to a completely new level. Now, I've seen some amazing scripts out there by random people that have posted videos on YouTube or even shared their scripts on the wiki, which I'm posting in the description below. Now, the scripts that I've seen that really amaze me are like there's one where you actually, some guy actually made a moon landing elevator. So essentially, you have a capsule that lands your rover on a very specific inclination. So yeah, he actually programmed so it doesn't actually land on anything too steep, and will continuously look for a location that's flat, and then land in that particular location. So I think that's absolutely brilliant. I've also seen some really awesome autopilot scripts where basically you have rovers guiding themselves to a new location, or even aircraft landing themselves, which is actually, if you use MacJab, which is probably the most popular autopilot script in Kerbal Space Program, you'll know that there is actually no good autopilot landing script, or whatever it's called, landing thingamajiggy. So in other words, the aircraft still have to be landed manually, but you can actually write a script where your aircraft will land itself. And this is actually my new goal, is to write a script where I can basically land aircraft by just typing, you know, launch. Oh, anyway, so we've established connection with the station now. Let me just show you what I can do now. Oh, can I do it? No, I can't. Oh, come on. I can't type in this? Oh, I thought I could type. Okay, maybe it's because my script is still running. I have to wait for it to finish. So here we go. This is the last stage. It's going to circularize the orbit, and it's going to get into perfectly, or almost perfectly circular orbit. Now, the coolest thing about this particular script is that there's just no limit to what you can do. You can go way above what MechJab can do and essentially program everything. Like, you can literally have a completely autonomous mission to, let's just say, Duna, that will drive your rover around, collect some data, collect some samples, and then return back to Kerbin. And I think that's absolutely awesome and brilliant in so many ways. Obviously, it will require some work on your part, but it makes it so much more fun because you'll actually be essentially creating these scripts from nothing. They're not very difficult to create. They do require a little bit of thinking and critical analysis, because you're trying to make them simple enough to fit in this capsule and so they can actually function. But at the same time, I think they're super fun. So this is the orbit we've established right now using the script I've written maybe a few hours ago. It gives me an orbit of anywhere between 82 and 79 kilometers above Kerbin. So it's not perfectly circular, but you know what? I'm happy with this because this is one of my first scripts and it works really, really well. So I'm going to get closer to the Kerbal Space Center so we can actually establish contact. And I'm going to show you what the script looks like and what you can actually do here. So now we can actually type in the computer. So the first thing you want to do is type, let's make our first script actually. This is what usually programmers do. They make a hello world script. So here it's super easy. Let's just name it hello. Every script or every command has to be ended with a period here. So here we're creating a new file and we're just going to say print in brackets hello world, and finish this with a little period again. Save this. It's going to be saved as hello.ks. And now as soon as I type run hello period, it will actually say hello world, program ended. So this is our first script. It took me a few seconds to write. Super easy, super convenient. Now the one I was using for launching, it's called launch 2, I believe, because that's my second attempt. And kind of looks like this. So it's a little bit longer. I'm going to actually expand this window, so if you ever want to take a look at this and copy it, you totally can. And I did take some ideas from other people here and kind of combine them. But basically what my script does is starts counting down from 3. You can actually change this to whatever number you want by just increasing or decreasing it. You can also add, if you wanted to say something specific, you can just add it here, print for every countdown. Then it's what it does is it throws up, so it increases your speed by using this command called lock throttle to 1. It locks my steering to vertical alignment. Then this right here, oh yeah, and then it waits 2 seconds before launch. Then this right here. Then we launch the spacecraft, and right here we have our staging script, MIDI script. So this is, it's using sort of like the if-then commands from programming. So when my fuel is below 1, then I'm going to print, I have no more fuel left. I'm going to stage, and I'm staging it twice because for this particular craft, there's actually 2 stages that I have. I could have done this better, but this is how I did it. And the preserve command means that this is a repeatable script. So when I actually have more stages, let's just say you have 3 stages with a different fuel, this script will come back to this command and check it again. Then I actually wrote my own kind of a turning script. So because I wanted to have a really, really nice gravity turn. The gravity turn that was given to me originally did not satisfy me. So instead I wrote the script where my ship actually turns by a little bit every 5 seconds. So it actually pitches itself a little bit, and it also reports to me by saying what my pitch is. And you actually might have seen this on the screen. Then I wait until my apoapsis get to 80 kilometers, and then I stop everything. I release my antennas. I lock my craft toward horizon, and I also wait until 15 seconds before apoapsis, then start burning full speed. Then when my periapsis get to about 29 kilometers, I decrease the throttle to 10% because it's a little bit more accurate that way. You can even decrease this further if you want to have a more circular orbit. And then when my periapsis gets to 79 kilometers, it stops. So I could change this to 80, and this would be even more circular. And lastly, it tells me we're now in orbit. So this is what it did at the end of the program. Now, despite its simplicity, it's somewhat challenging to write these scripts, and I kind of enjoy this part of this particular mod because it does give me so much more things to do and so many more problems to solve. So getting into circular orbit was actually relatively challenging. Even though with MacJab, all you have to do is click maybe three mouse buttons to get into circular orbit. I personally found it a little bit unsatisfying or unsatisfactory because I wanted to get something more. I wanted to get more control, more everything, and this allows me to do just that. And the other thing I really like about the script is that it actually makes me use antennas finally. I finally need antennas. I finally have to bring them to or attach them to my spacecraft because in order for me to communicate with the Kerbal Space Center, antennas are absolutely necessary. So if I want to launch a new script, like let's just say I'm orbiting around the moon and I want to launch a moon landing script, I need to bring in at least one of these antennas and then one of the parabolic antennas to extend my range, because otherwise I'll have no connection and I'll basically have a useless piece of junk flying in an orbit. So antennas have become absolutely essential, and this is, I think, one of the best things that the script has introduced. And the thing is, if you're not really into writing all of these scripts, if you don't really know where to even start, there's so many available for you right now. You can just copy most of them from the wiki. I'm actually going to show you a really simple launch script right now. We're going to try it again. I'm going to try to launch a spacecraft using absolutely the simplest possible launch script. But before we do that, so what I need to mention is that you need to understand how this script kind of interacts and works. So you have this computer on board, but you also have a main central computer in Kerbal Space Center. This is actually called, it's basically called 0. So here, if I type this, switch to 0, I will now be accessing my main computer that actually is on your hard drive in your computer. So every script you can actually manually put into that folder, and it's specifically the folder is this. It's actually on your screen right now. And this folder has all your scripts in format like written like this, name.ks. So if you save a file like this, it becomes a script and you can then launch it. So right now I can list some of my scripts. And here you go. So these are the scripts I have right now. Some of them will be for future videos. Some of them are just kind of trials and errors. And this is the one we just made together, hello kOS. You also have other commands, of course, like there's a delete command, there's a copy command. And the most important command is you have to be able to collect these files and put them on your ship right here. So because if you're going into outer space and it's beyond the reach of your antenna, or maybe you'll have some outage at some point, you may want to bring these files with you. So what you have to do is you have to switch your access to one, which is the computer on board. Now on this computer, I don't have, I think, oh yeah, I have nothing here. We have 5,000 bytes free, and this is what you have here. So this is the size. So the maximum size I can store is 5,000. And what I can do now is to basically, I can copy my hello script to this computer. So copy hello to 1 will now copy. Oops, not copy hello to 1. Copy hello from 0 is what I was trying to type. There you go. So now it copied the file here. So I have my hello script. I can now actually launch it by typing run hello period. And here we go. So this file is now stored here. So you just have to remember that you have the local computer that has limited space, and you have the unlimited space on the ground in Kerbal Space Center. And also this goes into your hard drive. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's actually go back on the ground and launch our first ship together. So you can actually go ahead and make your own ship right now. And I'm going to show you a very simple script that you can actually copy from the wiki as well. It's a very simple launch script. So here we go. We're going to click right here, open the kOS window, and let's just edit a new file. So edit means create a new file or edit the previous file. And here we're just going to name it takeoff, edit takeoff. And this is our completely new file. I'm going to open it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. And the first thing we want to write is, well, let's write clear screen, because this will clear anything that we have on our screen right now. Then we need a countdown, right? So let's just make a really simple countdown. Print 3. Then we're going to wait 1 second. Wait 1. Let's now print 2. Wait 1 second, and lastly print 1. So now we can save this, and let's just see if this works. So run takeoff. And 3, 2, 1. Program ended. All right, perfect. So works so far. So let's keep going. So what do we need next? We need to make sure our spacecraft goes up, right? And we also need to make sure that it actually launches itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a command called lock throttle, which is basically your spacecraft thingy right here. It's called throttle. We're going to lock it at 1 because we want to go full speed ahead. Next, we're going to lock our steering. And here, there's 2 things you can do. You can just write up, which is actually a command that you already have, up. Or you can write it in this particular way with a vector. So here, we're going to add a vector of 0, 0, and 180. So this also does the same thing. Basically, it kind of locks your spacecraft directly up, and it's going to go up for a few seconds until you tell it not to. Then we want to stage. We want to start our spacecraft, so this will stage and begin our ascent. I like to inform myself, so I'm going to write, we are flying. This is just so that you know that things are working, because if you don't write these things, sometimes you don't really know where the mistake is. Now, what do we do next? Well, next we're going to wait until some altitude and start a very simple gravity turn. Let's just say we're going to do it old school at 10,000. So there's a command called wait until, and we're going to wait until a specific altitude. Wait until altitude is more than 10,000 meters. Here, what's going to happen? Well, when this occurs, we're going to lock our steering to a different vector. So vector here is going to be, or let's actually use something a little bit simpler. I'm going to show you another command that makes it a little bit easier so that you know that you can do the same thing in several different ways. Lock steering to heading, and here you can write the heading. Where are we going to head? Well, we're going to go east, and our pitch is going to be 45 degrees. So this is old school gravity turn. From beta version. Basically, we're going to go 45 degrees at 10,000. At this point, what we're going to do is, at some point, I think we're going to run out of fuel. So and you can see I'm using 2 toroidal engines here, my favorites. And at some point, we need to dump this stage and open up the protective shell as well. So we need to basically do something with this. So what we'll do is we're going to write a fuel detection command. And here, basically, we're going to be doing this. Wait until in my stage 1, or any stage really, the liquid fuel is less than, let's just say 1. Or you can also write 0, but I think 1 is sometimes a little bit more accurate. You also need space between these 2. And now we're going to do staging. Now because I have an extra stage here, I'm going to stage twice actually. Stage. And we're going to write print, fuel is out, launching second stage. So if everything goes right, we should be flying toward the 45-degree angle. When fuel runs out, we will dump the first stage and go on our second stage. All right, let's keep going. To get into orbit, we need to make sure that we have a certain apoapsis. And I think here I'm going to wait for apoapsis of about, I'll just say 100 this time. Wait until, and there's a command for that as well, wait until apoapsis is more than 100,000. One word. And when that occurs, we're going to lock our throttle to 0. So basically stop another way. We're going to stop blasting our engine. And we're going to lock steering to prograde, basically toward our velocity. This will turn our craft sideways, and we're going to be preparing for circularization burn. And here, print, what we're going to say is that we're waiting to circularize. Now, at this point, we're going to be waiting for that to occur. So wait until, and this is another command you can use, wait until ETA to apoapsis ETA to apoapsis is less than, let's just say, 10 seconds. Let's say 15 seconds. At this point, when this occurs, lock throttle to 1 again, so full speed ahead, blast your engines. And we're gonna say circularize. I don't know how to spell it. I'll just say burn, because I forgot how to spell circularize. It's a difficult word to spell and to pronounce. And lastly, this is where you can basically do several things. You can try to slow down, you can try to do many things, but I'm just gonna write this. Wait until periapsis is more than 99,000, and this should technically stop my engines. If it doesn't, I wrote something wrong, but let's just see. So this is a really simple script. Here's the full thing for you to see. And I'm gonna just save this. And I don't need to save this on my computer because I can actually launch one script directly from the main Kerbal Space Center. And so what we do is we write run takeoff, which is the name of the script, and press enter. And then we get a mistake. And here, if there's a mistake, it will tell me where the mistake is. And I think the mistake is right here. I forgot to write 2. All right, perfect. It's working. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to do it from over here so we can actually see the beauty of the rocket. So we are now at this part. We're just flying, and this is going to be until 10 kilometers. Some people wrote scripts where it actually even changes your speed to a specific speed depending on the altitude, and I think that's awesome to try by yourself, but I'm not going to do this here because we just want to launch this directly into space. Anyway, so somewhere around now, we're going to start turning, gravity turning, and it's going to do it really nicely. Now the thing is, because I'm using toroidal engines, I don't really have much in terms of turning ability, but I'm turning using my my winglets. And it didn't go as well as I planned because we're still going directly up. So we released our stage, so everything is working so far. But the thing is, once again, there's a mistake. Look at that. This stage has not been released for some reason. So even though I'm out of fuel, something went wrong. So this is where you kind of have to experiment and try to figure out what is going wrong with your design and what is happening here. And the thing is, I kind of know how to fix this, but I would like you guys to try this yourself. Just, you know what, go ahead, make your own rocket, launch it using this particular script, which I'm posting in the description below, and play around with it. It's super fun. Solving these problems and, you know, trying to write these scripts will make you a much better programmer, and it will give you the mindset needed to become a really excellent coder as well. So what I think is that you should definitely give kOS a try. It's one of the best mods in the game, and it does teach you quite a lot. So even though we didn't really make it to space or manage to circularize, this is where you have to try to figure out what went wrong and how to solve these problems. And this is what I really like about this particular mod. It creates new problems, but it also creates so many new solutions. And as we watch our spaceship descend back into Kerbal atmosphere, I just wanted to say once again, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you enjoyed these videos, leave a comment, tell me what you like and don't like. And also subscribe if you still haven't. There's more awesome Universe Sandbox and Kerbal Space Program videos coming up. And my spaceship is definitely finished, I think. Look at that, we're returning back to Kerbal Space Center. At least we're kind of on the mark and we're gonna land in the water. But yeah, definitely give Kerbal OS or kOS a try. This is actually a script that was originally developed by someone called Nivek. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but he kind of stopped developing it, so it's been taken over by someone else. That's because it's an open source code or open source mod. It's actually updated and developed by a completely different person, and both of them are really awesome people, I think, and they should definitely be rewarded for what they're doing. But even if they're not rewarded, you should give this mod a try because it is epic. Look at that. Look at how nicely we're crashing right next to Kerbal Space Center. And 3, 2, 1, and I should probably write a script for crashing as well. And as we crashed into the water, we can actually pause this here and continue this to the next part. Actually, the next video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be using both Remote Tech and Kerbal OS or kOS to launch a historical mission. I'm going to explain it to you in the next video, so stay tuned and subscribe. And game you later, guys. Bye-bye.